to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in. Tuesday, May 26th. Jason Moore, Mike Wright, Andy Holloway, the Fantasy Footballers, back with you. Not just back with you, but happy to be with you. Oh, so happy.
I'm in a good mood.
Are you?
Well, you just said I was happy.
Oh, that's all it takes?
Oh,
I
yeah.
can tell you how to feel?
That's right. If someone, and this is good to know, Foot Clan. If someone is really upset, you just tell them they're happy.
Right.
Does that work with the spouse?
Oh yeah, try it on for size.
Oh no, it's perfect. Stop being so upset.
Right.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Just be happy.
Yeah.
So it's 100% hit rate
Yeah.
of something really explosive's about to happen.
Just calm down. It just makes it easy. Now they know what to do.
Yeah.
I feel like your wife probably has tried some of those techniques on you on like a Sunday when the fantasy team didn't perform. And did they work? Just be happy, Jay.
Oh man.
Just be happy that Josh Jacobs turned into a crap pile once you traded for him.
When those things happen, the world becomes the
Jason,
Charlie
just
Brown
calm
teacher.
down.
The world is the Charlie Brown teacher. I don't
Everybody
hear
around you. Well, Foot Clan, welcome back. We've got a fun show today. We're talking through some fantasy wild cards, players that could go either direction. We're going to actually debate and discuss those players live and then decide if we think they're breakouts or busts, basically. This is your last chance this week. In fact, we need the vintage song, Al, if you want to find it. This is the last week to pick up the ultimate draft kit on pre-order pricing because it's coming out next Monday, June 1st. The UDK will be here. UltimateDraftKit.com to check that out. And you also get the Ultimate Draft Kit for free if you're a member of if you're an Ultimate Foot Clan member at jointhefoot.com. That's another way to get access to it. I've given them plenty of time.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
The lyrics say it all. Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the ending lets you know you'll dominate.
That's what your opponents will sound like when they're like, oh.
That's right. That's right. Mike, you won titles in both of our leagues last year. Did you use
I
the
sure did.
Ultimate Draft Kit?
Not only did I use it, I helped create it.
Oh, it's
so
like a Rogaine ad.
I mean, yeah, I'm not only a member.
All right. Well, June 1st is the big day. So if you want to pick it up ahead of time, ultimatedraftkit.com. You can follow the show on Instagram, instagram.com/fantasyfootballers. You can watch the show over on YouTube. I suggest you subscribe, click the bell over there. You'll be alerted to any of our live events, including Sunday Live throughout the season. That's youtube.com/thefantasyfootballers. And if you have an extra moment, it's summertime, the kids, they're home now.
The living's easy.
The living's easy. They're sleeping in. I can sleep in a little bit more. So you probably have free time to go over to Apple or Spotify and leave us a 5-star review. If
That'd be swell.
That'd be cool. Have your morning coffee and leave us a review. That'd be sweet. Quick question of the day comes from YouTube. Mike Walrus.
Oh, Mike Walrus.
3524 writing
wants
in.
to fight us.
Why the confidence in Jayden Daniels? Maybe he's taken a peek at some of the rankings going up on thefantasyfootballers.com. Why the confidence in Jayden Daniels? He really wasn't that great when he was healthy last year. Now he has lost weapons and Terry is getting older. Aren't we all? I see a big decline in that offense, and I want no part in Daniels. Is Jayden Daniels more of a wild card player than we realize? His sleeper ADP right now, quarterback 5.
Well, I'll start off by saying this. Hey, man, if your process says I want no part of Jayden Daniels, don't do it. But the reason that I am still interested, and I think that we are still interested, it's how the game is played. Quarterbacks get 1 point for every 25 yards of passing, and they get a full point for every 10 yards of rushing. And Jayden Daniels was still running at a very similar rate. You know, the rookie year, 8.7 rushes per game. It was actually 9 per game last year, a little bit higher of a scramble rate. Wasn't nearly as successful, but then to defend him, 11% of his passes were dropped. That was the highest in the NFL. And like, I know the weapons. That's still that 11% of your passes being dropped. That's pretty egregious. That should regress. And it's just guys that run the amount that Jayden Daniels does end up being good for fantasy football. And then the stuff he provides you with his arm, that's kind of like that's the sugar. That's the syrup on the top of does he give a truly elite year as opposed to because right now he should just be good. He should be solid no matter what, but could possibly be elite. It's like Lamar. Are you know who was not good? Lamar Jackson. Are you out on Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, it's funny on a per game basis. Looking at healthy games, Lamar and Jayden Daniels were very, very similar last year. And yeah, it was a slightly down year for Lamar. But when you look at the talent, you know the scramble rate. I mean, you're talking about someone who scrambles more than anyone, like literally breaking records in the NFL, and his scramble rate was up last year in the games he played. So if you've got that kind of mobility on the ground, and Terry is older, but I don't know, when you say you lost a lot of weapons, are we talking about
Debo?
Debo didn't look like he had it 2 years ago. There's a question of whether he could reignite his body at his elder statesman's age last year with the Commanders. That was pretty clearly answered. That was a no. So I don't know that that's a big loss. Zach Ertz, is, again, not a huge loss. They bring in Antonio Williams, who is a solid incoming rookie wide receiver. So there's a little bit of youth there.
I mean, look, Jayden missed a lot of time last year. He missed games with a knee injury. He missed games with a hamstring, and then he missed a bunch of games with the elbow. Terry McLaurin missed weeks 4 through 7. Those were like 3 of the only games that Jayden Daniels played. They didn't play together a lot. Also missed weeks 9 through 11. So this team lost the season. I think to come at this other side of it, I think it's totally fine to have some hesitation, more hesitation around Jayden than you would Lamar, because Jayden did it 1 year as a rookie and has an injury-plagued second season. Lamar's done it for a bunch of years, won multiple MVP awards.
And had multiple years where if you drafted Lamar, you're just ripping your hair out because you're like, why is this the year? Why is this the year he's bad?
The depth chart is it's weak on the pass-catching side. But
would you say it's worse or better with Chigakonkwo and Antonio Williams versus the Debo Ertz?
Neutral.
Same.
Neutral probably, but I mean, they're still I remember they gave Treylon Burks the 1-year deal. They added Rachaad White, lost Austin Eckler. It's just about whether you think Jayden will stay on the field. I think that's the other fair concern. I mean, if you miss 3 different stretches of the season with 3 different injuries and your first inclination is to scramble and run the football, that concerns me. Not everybody is built to do that and take that much of a beating.
So
he's a skinny dude.
We do know the price is very different this year. It's almost a 3-round ADP difference of where Jayden went last year.
That's massive
compared to this year. Also, this is the big one. So looking at every quarterback over the last decade who started at least 12 or more games, and they had at least 100 rush attempts in the season. We're talking quarterbacks. Of the 27 quarterbacks, 26 of the 27 were top 12 in points per game. It was
basically 100%.
Yeah, and the one who wasn't, it was the 2020 old man Cam Newton, who didn't get into the top 12 of points per game.
He was just trying to run.
And then in the ceiling case, 78% of those guys, top 6 in
78%.
Yeah, because if you run 100 times or more times at the quarterback position, you score. You score fantasy points. It's how the game is built. So if I understand, you're like, oh, he was a one-hit wonder. The second year, I think that's more of what Jayden Daniels is. If that's what you believe about him, then stay far away. But if you're in, he's even cheaper this year. And based off of history and probability of things, I think he'll run more than 100 times again this year, should he be healthy enough to do so. And then if he does, the floor is just you're in the top 12.
There's also progression as a player, right? Like,
sure.
Last year I was down on Jayden Daniels because his rookie year they had the easiest schedule of all time, And we were talking about how this was going to be a much more difficult job going into year 2. But he also is now going into the 3rd year as an NFL veteran. Like, he's 25 years old. He should just be getting – like, there is the progression of the player himself as a passer. I mean, Lamar didn't come in, and start as a prolific passer. He developed that much better as he aged. So I think there is some of that we're looking to Jayden Daniels as he's healthy now.
I don't think he's as guaranteed as those other guys, but I think you should remember his rookie year. 891 rushing yards on 148 carries. There's your cheat code. 3,500 passing, 25 touchdowns, only threw 9 picks, had 100 passer rating, and last year got deleted. And now you're getting a huge discount. So that one's tough because I think there will be multiple people in every league looking to get a discount on Jayden Daniels.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're going to have to decide when you want to pull the trigger. I mean, I don't know where you got. If you want to tell me where you guys have him ranked in your rankings,
I am very high. I've got him at quarterback 4.
so he's 6 for me in a 4-point and 8 for me in a 6-point. So not as high.
He's at 3 or 4.
Okay,
based off of scoring.
Let's talk some news.
News and notes from around the league.
Well, the fine team here at the Fantasy Footballers was working very hard with Matthew Stafford this weekend, and we got it. We got it done, guys. A 1-year, 55. We have no audio. We have no.
He'll
audio.
probably fix
He'll
it.
fix that. A 1-year, $55 million extension.
We just need everyone at home to know we didn't hear it.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't hear anything.
So it'll
But what
sound
you-
right
we
to
all
you.
did.
Wait, you
What?
did?
Back here we did.
No, I did. I heard it like outside my ears.
Yeah, I
coming
heard you
through
hear
You're
something
telling
back
me
there.
it came through the headphones, huh?
In our ears it did, but
Let's see.
I think I got some,
You got
something
something
routed wrong in your guys' mix.
Oh, so it's
I'll get
in
it
the
fixed.
show.
You're
Yeah.
routed
So every time
wrong.
I hit this, it's just ruining the audio.
Everybody else is hearing it.
Okay. Well, that's how much money he's going to make in 1 year. Matthew Stafford.
Over 150 million?
Oh no, you don't add it up.
Oh,
Every
okay.
time we hit the button, he gets 55 more.
1 year, $55 million extension through 2027. That would mean Ty Simpson waits a couple years now to get a shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what they said. They said that this
I don't
is
turn the
Stafford's-
55 down next year.
No, this is Stafford's team for as long as he wants it. Ty's going to sit in the background. From a dynasty perspective, I don't know that it changes much because I have been viewing Stafford as a 2-year starter. But if you haven't, then it should, because you don't look at having Ty Simpson available this year or next year.
ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting the Chiefs have, quote, no plans to give Rashee Rice an extension before the start of the season.
What?
I mean, of course not.
Obviously.
But at the same time, oh man, I think it was 1 or 2 episodes ago. It was just before
When you drafted him?
the Rashee Rice news. It was just before that I was saying I'm just waiting for a couple big games. Start the season, have that fantasy value that he always provides when he's on the field in our main dynasty league, and then trade him immediately. Is just like a ticking time bomb to me. And this news doesn't help. Like, if you're trying to unload Rashee Rice, you can't do it right now. I feel like right now is as low a value as you could get for Rice.
It is a very terrifying bet. Dynasty, redraft, all of it,
Yep.
which is exactly where we were last year.
Yep.
So, fool me twice. But also, he rewarded fantasy
Yeah, he was
managers once he
also
played.
really good.
John Wyden for us. Oh, this is so annoying. I didn't even want to report it. The Cardinals in quarterback Jacoby Brissett are, quote, significantly far apart on a rework deal for the upcoming season.
Oh man,
The stupidest standoff of all time.
I don't even care.
Who's
don't even show up. I don't care, Jacoby.
the both of yous are dumb.
I think
He has no leverage.
Jacoby, you're dumb. You have no leverage. You have nowhere else to start, and I don't know that you're going to go anywhere else and get the guaranteed money that you can get from the Cardinals right now. Arizona, you're dumb. Why did you put yourself in this position where you didn't be like, hey,
Figure this out before.
let's talk
everything.
to Jacoby. Our plan is going to be he's the starter. Let's just give him a couple extra mil, and we'll avoid all of this. It's ridiculous. Jacoby won one game last year.
I couldn't care less what happens. I really don't care.
I
mean, I care for Trey McBride,
for fantasy
but I
purposes,
don't.
we have to care.
As a Cardinal fan, Are you winning more games with Brissett than Minshew? No, you're not. Both those guys will do the same thing. Win you one game.
Yeah, I
Every
don't
10 times they take the field. And then you've got Beck. So
I don't blame the Cardinals for not wanting to pay Jacoby Brissett
Exactly.
any kind of raise because it's irrelevant. They already got Minshew and they've got Beck, so you're fine. You don't need to give. And I don't blame Brissett for being like,
yes.
"Oh, dude, I'm the starter."
It's just we needed to figure this out.
You should pay me. I think what'll end up happening is they're significantly far apart. This is just posturing, and then he'll get a couple extra $1 million coming and be the starter. It's too early in the offseason for this kind of posturing for me to be afraid that he is not the starter.
it does bring to mind the fact that Trey McBride was very like his lapping the field numbers were provided by Jacoby Brissett. So just keep that in mind. We're going to talk about some teammates there on the Wildcard segment. Chargers general manager came out and said the quote, the door is not closed for Keenan Allen to return to the Chargers.
I mean, he has a key. Like Keenan can come in anytime he wants. He knows the code to the lock. and I almost expect it. I mean, he can't.
They put a physical lock on that door? Like a big old
Yeah.
deadbolt?
Yeah, I mean it's digital. It's
Okay.
it's eight digit key.
Oh,
They're
man.
serious about security over there.
I feel like I'd forget my code all the time.
Keenan's at an age where remembering that many digits might not work. If Keenan comes back to the Chargers, it muddies the water for Ladd McConkey in particular,
Correct.
which we saw last year. And then Aaron Rodgers letting us know early. He's going to retire after the season,
Or will he?
we think.
He seemed very emphatic, and he's never said that before.
I totally support him.
Yes, I think everyone, we support you. Rodgers, retire, walk away. It's time. But but
you have my full support.
right now he's going for that Super Bowl.
Yeah. Steelers fans can laugh at us when they somehow get it. Let's take a break and we'll jump into Wildcards.
Why did Fred Durst appear on the screen there?
We came back from the break and
Come and get it, yeah.
why was Fred Durst on the screen?
I was
What is
trying to-
happening today?
Yeah, I'm a mess. I was trying to get off the news one, and I was going to the canvas and clicked the wrong one.
Your default settings over there include Fred Durst.
He is right next to this one, yes.
Be
That's
careful,
Tampa
be
Bay
careful
wide
back
receiver
there.
Fred Durst.
That's right. That's Tampa Bay's
Who
draft
could be
pick.
the boss?
All right, let's jump in.
Brakes aren't working. No, I'm saying, no, the brakes. Guys, why aren't the brakes working?
Because I cut the brakes! Wildcard!
We are into the fantasy wild cards. It's fun to talk about these players, pretty polarizing players. I will say, like, I don't know why Al's off his game today. He has been playing a lot of golf.
Yeah, the priorities are a little.
And there's rumors that he may go to a 2-glove golf system. And I imagine if he's got 2 gloves on right now, that's why the buttons aren't working
Right,
good back
yeah.
there. Do you know what I mean?
You pushing buttons with golf gloves on right
I mean,
now.
Kurt Warner could
Bridgewater
pull off
back
the
there.
2 gloves.
Yeah,
Teddy Bridgewater could pull it off.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Al could pull off the 2 gloves.
Has anyone in the NFL ever done
3 gloves?
No, no, but like biker gloves, like they cut
Oh,
off
the
at the
cutoffs?
Knuckles.
Interesting.
So
I feel
you're,
like you want those fingertips.
but I mean that's what I'm saying. You're like, this is completely aesthetic. This is not helping me. It's just helping me be an absolute legend.
I mean, that would let you put like stick 'em on the hand part, but then you'd still have the feel of the fingers.
And
You'd look cool.
that way on the sideline, way easier to use your phone. You know what I mean? Thumbs out. Yeah.
Cool, man.
because that's what
That's what
our wideouts are just scrolling in
No,
between.
they need
If they would be,
They gotta
if they were
tweet.
allowed, they would 100% just be sideline tweet, and it would be all the wide
Who
receivers.
had the hot dog on the sideline? Was that Lamar?
Oh, I don't remember.
One of them ate a hot dog. That would have been easier without gloves, right? Or do you wear hot dog gloves? Do you guys wear hot dog
No,
gloves?
I had a hot dog. I mean, you know, the 9-10 turn. When you got that golf club on.
I saw the hot dog you had in your car. Is that where it came from? The
my
golf
ma-
course?
You had a
I'm
car
not-
dog?
I'm not taking questions at this time, but I can tell you that
I do see
eating
Mark Sanchez eating a hot dog.
a hot dog with a glove on is a problem.
Let me tell you this, Jason. First of all, I saw the dog. Second of all, what were you thinking? You could have thrown away the evidence. Instead, you left like a 16th of the hot dog in the container. And you didn't eat it. You didn't finish the dog.
Look, I've got self-control, you know? I said enough's enough here.
That sounds more like a guy who can't finish the job.
To each their own.
You can't finish the dog?
You think that was my first dog, Mike?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Come on.
He ate 1 15/16 of a dog.
I apologize.
Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is our first wild card player. We'll talk about him. We'll declare a little breakout bust situation. Right now, his sleeper ADP is the quarterback 21 off the board. On Underdog Best Ball Leagues, QB 17. He turns 29 this offseason. He's coming in to revitalize Justin Jefferson in the offense. He'll compete, wink, with J.J. McCarthy. And
How is McCarthy so bad, guys?
And how do we all know it so convincingly?
Because of last year when we watched him play.
But I'm saying it just
it didn't
I
make
feel like
sense.
it did not make sense.
Honestly, there is a world here. I mean, the wild card range of Kyler, if we want to talk about the floor, the worst case, there is a legitimate chance that J.J. McCarthy steps up, goes into his sophomore year, is better, beats Kyler in camp. I mean, that is
sounds like you're telling a joke.
It feels like it right now, but the opportunity is there for an honest competition. So if we're talking about the wild card of Kyler Murray, it starts with the fact that he is not guaranteed this job. Now, I think all three of us and the majority of the world believe Kyler will win the job because Kyler is better. We've seen him play quality football. He was the number 1 overall pick. He brought the Cardinals to the playoffs. He was an MVP candidate at one point. I mean, he's had success, got injured, was disappointing, got kicked out of town because we were sick of him being
a coward in
the
the pocket.
biggest coward in the pocket. I mean, that was all of his problems. He folded like a tent made out of toilet paper, man. I mean,
that was fold easily.
I feel like that's more of a disintegrate.
That's a moisture disintegration.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay. Listen, Kyler's not the same player. That's the declaration that I'm going to make. Kyler's not the same player he was when he came into the league. Kyler's athleticism and pre-injury abilities are not the same as post-injury to me. He's become disconnected from the team in Arizona at multiple times. He has lost his ability to step into the pocket and be patient. We can say, hey, you know what? Kevin O'Connell's going to fix everything. Except for Kevin O'Connell did not fix J.J. McCarthy. He did not turn J.J. McCarthy into a player. So, there's at least that reality in play. And to me, you look at the last 12 starts that Kyler Murray played, for fantasy purposes, 2 of the 12 you're happy with. The other 10, disasters. These are healthy Kyler Murray on the field across 2 years. He doesn't do what he used to do. And unfortunately, like when we say breakout or bust, to me that puts him in a bust category for fantasy, but he could still be a successful quarterback for Minnesota relative to what they had. And for Justin Jefferson, I just don't have as high of expectations as maybe you guys do.
Yeah, I mean, I see the bull case that exists. You definitively saying that Kyler is just not the same. He doesn't have the athleticism. That is definitely what we saw with the final stint of his career in Arizona. But also, I don't know how hard he's playing for that team, for this city. A lot of the issues was he wasn't going to stand there in the pocket and take a hit. Right now, he's playing for a career, for a job, for a new organization to make sure, I think there is motivation. Some of what he did poorly was really the mental, part of the game. And I think that is something that Kevin O'Connell can actually work on and fix. And when you say he didn't fix J.J. McCarthy, we don't know that McCarthy was fixable. It wasn't like...
Might just be a turd.
Right.
Unpolishable.
This was, a situation where Carson Wentz was not too bad in his brief stint there. Kyler, I believe, will have success for fantasy this year. I think he will be the starter. I think he will run the ball. And with the weapons he has, which is, better than he had in Arizona with Justin Jefferson, I think this is probably a value in fantasy to me. I don't see him being a top 6 quarterback most likely, but if you told me at the end of the year that he finished at quarterback 5 because he actually threw 26 touchdowns and also ran for 700 yards, on this offense, I can see that in the range of outcomes.
I thought maybe you had something to contribute there, Mike.
He is truly a wild card. I can see both situations equally playing out. The fact that he's pretty dirt cheap in terms of ADP, he feels like a player that if you're drafting a second quarterback in a single quarterback league, that he's a great target for that, because you might find out very quickly that it's actually going to work for him. Like I was just thinking through the weapons. Okay, the weapons of Arizona versus Minnesota, and it's a harder discussion. We're going to be talking about Michael Wilson. How does a player who's capable of what Michael Wilson did in the second half of the year be completely unused by Kyler Murray?
Marv. Because Michael Wilson was almost completely unused by Jacoby Brissett when Marv was on the field. Like it wasn't just that. We'll get there with Michael Wilson.
Pretty big overstatement.
He was used
unused
significantly less than the games where he didn't have Marv.
Well, I think that is still TBD.
Just move it to Michael Wilson. He's not
right.
next.
Michael
Wilson
is the next wild card. The reason I say TBD on Michael Wilson is because there was a clear and defined breakout of Michael Wilson that took place. And I think everything from that point forward is solid evidence. But before they integrated him into the offense in that fashion, and I understand that it was as a result of Harrison missing time, like once the cat was out of the bag, so to speak, from that point on, even when Marv came back and had opportunities.
It's every game that Marv – so in the second half, from the bye week out, Michael Wilson has 3 red games.
Those are the only 3 that Marv played?
Marv
didn't play from week 14 through 18?
So Marv –
he didn't play 14, 15, and then he came back and played less than half the snaps in the final 2 weeks.
I would say week 16, because he didn't play a full game in week 17, but in week 16, Marv was there.
Marv played 51% of the snaps.
Yeah, still the majority of that game.
Right.
But that was where Michael Wilson was 2 for 52.
Now, Michael Wilson was a part of this team before Marvin Harrison was on it, right?
Correct. 1 year prior.
So, when you go out and you put up a 1,600-plus yard pace in a stretch, I feel like I think that's amazing evidence over that long period of time of what you're capable of doing. Kyler never used him in that regard.
That's what it's so.
But I think he
confusing.
earned a very solid role on this offense. I don't have either of these guys projected super high, for what it's worth.
Talking Marv and
Wilson? for me, I have them like both as wide receiver 3s.
I have Marv significantly ahead of Michael Wilson, but that's the whole reason why Michael Wilson's on the wild card. The second half of the year, he helped people win fantasy championships. He was, a top 10 fantasy wide receiver. So we have evidence that he can get it done. The issue, I think, if we're not talking about Marv versus Michael Wilson alone, just Michael Wilson's outlook and outcome, last year we got to this place where we abandoned running the ball. We really couldn't run the ball.
So we dropped back as a we for Arizona.
For Arizona, yeah.
That was impressive, Jason, because you don't normally do that.
No, I don't, because
I thought we were out.
Hey,
you're a big fan.
I thought your language does not say you're out.
No,
habits are hard to break. Do you know how long I said San Diego Chargers? Okay, they weren't the San Diego Chargers anymore, but our Arizona Cardinals.
That's your evidence.
Yeah, because I'm used to saying, we or my team or whatever.
This whole Travis Etienne thing is going to be tough for Jason.
It has been. But think about how, you really, James Conner got injured. All the running backs got injured. They just dropped back and threw the ball every single snap. A
lot of teams do that, and no player produces like this.
League-leading pace of passing. But then you spend the number 3 pick on Jeremiah Love. You go out and get Tyler Algier. I think the evidence is not that we want to drop back and lead the league in passing attempts. Obviously, if you're a bad team, into the game, you're going to be passing. But I think the upside case for Michael Wilson is nothing like what we saw at the end of last year.
He was the only Puka Nacua had more fantasy points from week 11 through 18 last year, second half of the season.
So what do you think, Andy, is like best case? Like, he is that dude because he looked it on film. this current team, Marv active, whatever, what is his most bullish, best fantasy finish?
In terms of like wide receiver number?
Yeah.
Probably 15. Yeah, if the
That'd
season,
be a good
if the
return.
season went that way, I mean, you're talking probably about 1,100 yards and 7 touchdowns, something like that. I mean, I'm not trying to make a case to go draft Michael Wilson and reach for him, but I'm saying that I want to reward rather than just sit here and say
I'm seeing an ADP of 35, wide receiver 35.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's like this is
a free player.
You are not over investing in. Michael Wilson is in the territory with Sutton, Metcalf. I mean,
where's Marv?
He's the number 34 from what I'm seeing, so right next to Wilson.
Don't you feel like? I mean, Marv has much more to prove than Michael Wilson does.
Well, he's got much higher expectations as well.
Yeah, both of them. I'm just saying, like, there is I think that there are a couple of outcomes. Like, wouldn't you agree that we can mix Marv into it as well? But wouldn't you agree Marv is a wild card? Marv was going late in drafts, and Marv has like a make or break feeling to this season in Arizona. His dad's been vocal about the culture and opportunities for his son in Arizona. The likelihood that the Cardinals are drafting Dante Moore, Arch Manning, or one of these young quarterbacks going into next year, resetting the development of Marvin Harrison is pretty high. I just want to give Michael Wilson credit for being able to accomplish what lots of other teams that try to go out there and throw the football all the time, their receivers don't go up and put the second best numbers up in the entire NFL behind Puka Nacua. And it wasn't just like luck of the draw. There were contested catches, touchdowns, all those big plays.
There were short passes, middle of the field. It was a very impressive showing by him. I think the worst thing that could happen for him, though, is Marvin Harrison taking targets, because we know the number one on this team is Trey McBride.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he will lead the team in targets.
So that's why both of these guys are being drafted in the 30s.
Right.
So it has down, as you seem to be on Wilson, at that ADP. Like, are you still under that?
Oh, I'm way under that, yeah.
Oh, man.
Mike, where are you?
I have him a few spots ahead of ADP.
I think I'm 6 spots ahead of ADP, 33, which is like nothing.
Yeah.
You want to take Wandale in Tennessee or take a shot at Michael Wilson? Those are going to be your decisions.
Right.
So I can't call him a bust for fantasy if that's his ADP.
Well, I mean, I don't think you're taking him where you're taking Wandale. I mean, like Mike said, DK Metcalf, Mekhi Lemon. I see him next to Brian Thomas Jr.
Wandale is much lower.
That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
So you are drafting Michael Wilson where there are important players that I would rather take a shot on them. So range of outcomes. I mean, if we're saying, like, kind of on this episode, breakout or bust of these players and just kind of call the shot, we can all see both sides. I would be more on the bust side, but that he played very well last year and looked the part on film.
That's the problem is I need justice in the world, and the justice is this dude was awesome for your team. Marv was not. I don't care where Marv was drafted or what he was drafted to be.
Yeah, let's be the 49ers here and play the best players.
Marv would love to put up a season like Michael Wilson just had last year.
You got it.
So that's what I mean. Of like I'm conflicted of.
I have great news
of what is right and just for the world,
and I have great news for that justice.
Okay,
Michael Wilson is an unrestricted free agent at the end of this year. He's going to hit the free agent market and go be a legitimate wide receiver 2 for a team and be really good and play well, and I think he'll be better in 2027 than he is in 2026.
So far we've talked about Jacoby Brissett in the news, and then we've had to talk about Kyler Murray, the former Cardinal, and then Michael Wilson, the actual Cardinal.
Gross.
Can we not do this anymore?
Are there good? Are there exciting? Are there really fun, great players?
Booty scooting Bhayshul Tuten coming up. The wild card himself, Bhayshul Tuten of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Right now, his underdog ADP is RB26. His sleeper ADP is RB23 in the 5th round. He's 24 years old, a 4th-round draft pick. Played behind Travis Etienne Jr. last year. Among 55 qualified running backs. 5th in rush success rate, 5th in percentage of yards after contact, tied with Breece Hall for 11th in forced missed tackle rate.
That's right.
He was very limited in those opportunities, so you do tend to see efficiency numbers jump off the page, but you got to give him credit for him. He had 15 attempts in week 11. That was the most it was only double-digit carry count of the season. So we just haven't seen a ton of
No.
Bhayshul Tuten?
We haven't. And the usage of Tuten, like HN's
Thank you.
HN's like he got rewarded. He got the bag and turned into Rumbalaya. But it's like I don't know if you guys remember it as I do, but the Jags in the playoffs, there was this stretch where Tuten had 3 carries in a row, I believe, and they were all like these huge 15-yard carries, and then you're like, and that's enough Tuten. Like the way they used him was very bizarre for the amount of success that he was having. I know they brought Crod in, but I'm very much on the Bhayshul Tuten side as a breakout. It comes with risk, but that's baked into the ADP, and I don't see a world where Tuten on this Jags offense, that the Liam Cohen offense, we're multiple years into the experience now. Just let the fantasy points, let them wash over you. Like, I mean, that would have been that's Bucky's year, right? Because 2 years ago was Bucky on Tampa Bay, and that would have been Cohen, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like he'll give a guy a ton of the work, and Tuten profiles to get the receiving work. Goal line is up in the air because both Crod and Tuten were very successful at that. But it's like I feel like it's the incumbent's opportunity and job to lose, and I think that Tuten holds on to it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more neutral. I'm very excited about the potential breakout here. If you want to go in,
Kyle looked it up. I was right. It was 3 carries in a row in that playoff game. 20, 14, 13. Then they stopped giving
that's
him.
enough.
Dude, that was the game against Buffalo. It was so bizarre.
They want to keep the offense on the field, Mike. If you score a touchdown too quick, your D has to come in and play. You got to take your time with it. Tuten's upside is certainly obvious to see. You've got a top 10 running back in fantasy last year that left this team, and there's a great offense. I think the offense we want pieces of, and this is why I think, Andy, you like Trevor Lawrence so much, because it's like, oh, is it Brian Thomas Jr.? Is it Parker Washington? Is it who's going to be the one? Well, they all go to T-Law, but the running game, they pass the ball. I mean, ETN has gotten Achane has gotten a ton of passes from Trevor Lawrence, and so if it's Tuten catching the ball,
who else do you think
Allen,
Amir Abdullah,
those guys. It's really just a matter of will they bring in a really segmented backfield? Will they have their pass catcher, their goal line guy, their between the 20 guy, and then I could easily see this being a disappointing backfield, but usually good bets in fantasy are neutral, like ambiguous backfields on great offenses.
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, you got to look at Chris Rodriguez and say, look, he had the biggest opportunity last year that he's ever had. He turned 112 carries into 500 yards, scored 6 touchdowns, was 4.5 a carry.
And they kept going back to Bill.
He's still 26 years old. The opportunities he got, he took advantage of in Washington.
I agree.
I just feel like it's a bit of a wild card, like we're talking
both
about.
Both of these guys. I think that Bhayshul Tuten is more likely to be the star than Chris Rodriguez, but the cost difference, I'm almost more likely to go in on because Chris Rodriguez is left for dead. No, he's a double-digit round pick, just absolutely, no one wants him. Bhayshul Tuten is not. He's being drafted, I think, as like the running back 26. He's by the time the season comes, he'll be being drafted as an RB2.
This is one that you really want to watch closely in the camp battle as well. I think it's going to inform us a lot. You got to remember too, like one little. There's 2 sides to this one. One, they didn't draft somebody.
Right.
They won 9 out of their last 10 games. Travis Achane was a big part of their winning, and they didn't draft somebody. They could have tried to replace the position. So that says, hey, I have confidence at least in Tuten being there and then bringing in C-Rod. The other thing about Tuten is he was on the injury report a couple times last year. Week 11, he was on the injury report. Week 14, and he missed 3 games due to a finger injury. He's a little smaller than Chris Rodriguez is, so the goal line will be interesting there. But I lean, like if you're just saying, based on what we know now, being drafted RB23, I probably lean pretty neutral to that spot, if I'm honest. It's probably worth taking a shot at 23.
So the evidence we have, so for Cohen, you had Rumbalaya with 260 carries and 52 targets. Bucky's year 2 years ago, he had 207 carries and 52 targets. Like,
it's really about the passing game.
I'm going to project that Tuten will see the 50-plus targets here.
And
I bet he sees over 200 carries as well.
14 targets last year for Bhayshul Tuten on
the passing game out of the backfield was entirely Travis Etienne Jr., which is why I can kind of forgive Bhayshul Tuten for not doing that. At Virginia Tech, he saw 12% of their receptions. That's a good enough number to say, okay, he can do that.
He can do it better than C-Rod.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think the passing work for multiple years, the passing work out of the backfield has been where we get fantasy points from the Jacksonville Jaguars. If it goes to Tuten,
it's the worst. It's the worst
well.
check down opportunity in football, though, statistically speaking, in terms of routes run by wasted routes from the running back position. It is the worst situation.
Wasted routes, as in lowest percentage of routes run targeted?
Lowest percentage of running back routes run targeted by the quarterback and check down.
Running a ton of routes.
His check down percentage, it's combination. It's the check down percentage of Trevor Lawrence combined with the wasted routes at the running back position.
A piece of information that Kyle, we're sure on this? He's saying Chris Rodriguez was with Cohen at Kentucky.
No, he was. Yeah, that was a reuniting.
Okay.
But he's caught 6 passes in his life.
Yeah.
That's not a joke.
Crod.
Yeah. 6 catches
as a pro.
In his career. But statistically speaking, Trevor Lawrence checks the ball down the least. So that's something to pay attention to as well.
If you give me 52 targets, I'll take them.
We'll take a break. We'll talk about some more wild cards. All right, we're back into the wild cards. What on earth do we do with Bucky Irving? Someone tell me.
I think you go in on Bucky Irving. I mean, personally, I know that the back behind him has been replaced. Kenneth Gainwell comes in, but as much as we don't like Rachaad White, he was a valuable part of this team, a team leader. He was very involved.
He was a guy who got a lot of opportunities.
Yes, he got a lot of opportunities. I think that last year Bucky was injured. I mean, we know that, right? The shoulder injury happened. He was never the same. There were all sorts of, he was frustrated even mentally with the physical injury. Just had another procedure on the shoulder. So we know it was never healed during last season. But he started the season great. The team wants him to be that guy. I think he's going to have the opportunity to start to be that guy. I really do. So the question is just, do you think he has it or not?
He's being drafted higher in terms of the sleeper ADP than he is the underdog ADP right now. Which is weird because underdog is, it's best ball. You're looking for upside. He is a true wild card because we were just talking about Liam Cohen's offense and how successful he was in it. And how confident we have. People are confident in Kenny Gainwell and the opportunities that he's had. And he was a the team leading receiver for Pittsburgh last year. I guess I say it this way. If Bucky Irving is struggling with injury to start the season, Kenny Gainwell is the kind of guy that's going to make it really annoying for him to be the bell cow from that point on. Because I think Kenny Gainwell will have enough success in that opportunity. How tantalized are you by what Bucky was able to do before he got hurt and before the tumult of last year?
I mean, you have to be pretty tantalized because Bucky didn't do average stuff. Like we were going into last season talking about how almost universally we're out when a 4th-round running back hits as a rookie because the team is not committed to them. But the way that Bucky hit was not like the way that we've seen, what was the Texans, Damian Pierce. We knew he had a great rookie season. It's like, they're not committed to him. This is not their guy. That just didn't seem the way with Bucky. Bucky was so explosive, so important. He took over that role in his rookie season when they liked Rachaad White, and they're just like, we can't stop giving Bucky the ball. Highlight after highlight after highlight. And then last season,
efficiency was way down, 3.4 a carry, 54th out of 55 qualifying running backs, 52nd in rush success rate, 0 carries inside the 5. Sean Tucker's still there. If Gainwell's taking pass catching and Tucker's taking goal line, you've got a between the 20s shoulder problem.
I agree.
I hate the ADP.
I agree completely. if Gainwell takes the pass catching. That would ruin Bucky.
And he should probably. If I was Tampa, that's what I'd want to happen. Gainwell's elite in that department.
I think Bucky's better. As a pass catcher, I think he's better than Gainwell. And that's not to take anything from Gainwell. He's very, very good at that as well. But, I mean, Bucky can do special things, break plays that I don't think Gainwell's going to. Gainwell's just a solid, really capable pass catcher, but he's not a game breaker.
Before the injury, that was the number that was really making the weeks for Bucky.
Oh, for sure.
4 for 4, 6 for 6, 4 for 4, 5 for 5 in the receiving game.
It's an 80 target pace and an 80 reception.
And
pace
he had 47 receptions the year before.
Baker's very good at feeding his running backs.
Yeah, Rachaad White was like 100% catcher. Bucky Irving 100%. He remember when Cam Newton struggled with the check down throws to CMC sometimes?
It's too strong.
Baker knows how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Bucky is certainly.
I'm out.
I'm
both out on ADP.
You're both out.
I'm out because of ADP, which is the whole question.
I'm out because, I hate the ADP, and I just feel like there's so many ways for it to go wrong.
Where's he being drafted? What running back number? I have him right now
15.
I mean, I've got him at my running back 16, so I've got him right about there.
Yeah, I
got him at 22.
Maybe the lack of utilization inside the 5 was all shoulder, so they wanted Sean Tucker to be the hammer at that point. But knowing that these are the options that are in front and the money they gave Gainwell, I find Bucky to be a very scary proposition.
Are you guys
there.
fine? We talk about sometimes we got players that we just we're fine being wrong on.
Yes. Yeah, I'll say that.
Are you fine being wrong on him?
am.
Because I think that if we are wrong, it's going to be a real this one's going to be I don't think you're going to be fine. I think you're going to be real sad.
Yeah, talent-wise.
Are you taking him ahead of Kyron Williams, Jason?
No, I've got Kyron in my top 10.
Breece Hall?
Yeah, I would take him ahead of Breece.
Okay, those are interesting names.
And Henry is also one spot behind Bucky right now.
There's one big name that we have to talk about. We have to. We haven't done it enough.
Henry, of course.
Yes.
Isaiah Likely.
Yeah.
Tight end of the New York Giants. We are
post hype sleeper.
He's reunited with Harbaugh. When he played football as the primary tight end without Mark Andrews, he averaged 50 receiving yards per game, 12.5 fantasy points per game. We have spent so much time talking about Malik Neighbors' knee injury, the ACL, the meniscus, the second surgery, the timeline. They lost Wandale. And you look at who's going to fill the void in New York while Neighbors gets back up to speed. And then, look, if you have high expectations, and I know both of you do, for Jackson Dart, it's not going to come all on the back of one dude that's coming back from an ACL injury. You still have confidence. We just haven't spent a lot of time talking about the other pass-catching options for the Giants that may be the main guys to start the season. They obviously have Slayton, but Malachi Fields was the draft pick. Isaiah Likely comes in. Darnell Mooney's a part of this roster. I think a lot of people, I don't think we've talked about it enough, and I think a lot of people want us to talk about Isaiah Likely. Signed a 3-year, $40 million contract, $26 million guaranteed.
Big boy contract.
Harbaugh came out and said, when asked about Isaiah Likely evolving into a high-volume tight end for the Giants, he said the numbers you're talking about, the stats, that wasn't part of the thing in Baltimore because of the supporting cast, so to speak. It's going to be a big year.
Didn't he also say Likely was going to be a Pro Bowler last year?
Yeah. He had to very pump him up. This is why I'm calling him a post. I feel like every year he's supposed to break out, supposed to take over the Andrews role.
The narrative.
It's not abnormal for tight ends to be post.
Sure.
I mean, Njoku's of the world and Ingram took a long time.
But tracking the narrative of Isaiah Likely is extremely difficult. Like when Andrews re-upped, and I know Harbaugh's not the GM, but they chose Mark Andrews to give him an extension last year. And like Harbaugh, I'm sure at that time was like, yeah, I'll still be the coach of the Ravens. And it was like, yeah, we got Andrews longer. And Likely was needed. I mean, Baltimore pass catchers, it has been a problem for forever. You have Flowers and Mark Andrews, and then it's like the ghost of Rashad Bateman, Like, okay, well, we got Hopkins here for a couple catches.
And you've got Lamar throwing the ball.
They really, really needed someone, and it just never happened for Likely. So it's why does it work this time? That's it's the question for me.
One thing I'll say, and you guys talk about whether you agree, whether it's a problem for him, is that when you watch Jackson Dart have success last year, Neighbors wasn't on the field. But one thing he did do was he connected with Theo Johnson frequently. 6 out of the 10 game in a 10-game stretch, 6 times, Theo Johnson was a top 10 fantasy tight end. And I think we'd all agree Isaiah Likely brings a little bit more to the table, versatility, big play-wise, than Theo Johnson does. Theo Johnson brings some big mitts and some opportunities, but it was a priority to get the ball to the tight end. I wonder if we could be undercounting that part of the offense for New York.
We could. It's the history of Likely of with the same guy.
Are you thinking it's unlikely?
Yeah, it's Isaiah unlikely.
I mean, look, the money says it should work, and the opportunity says it should work. I just don't.
The money says big plans. The money says big plans, and I just don't see Jackson Dart having success without Likely being involved.
Bringing up Theo Johnson can work in both directions.
That's what I was saying. Maybe it hurts you because you split.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's one of those where Theo Johnson's not just going to disappear. Theo and Jackson Dart have like a close personal relationship as well. They're both going to be on the field. I mean, last year you had the Andrews Likely, and it works, and they were a good team. I think Likely's great for the Giants, and maybe this is the fantasy burns of having Isaiah Likely in my main dynasty leagues forever.
You still got him?
Yeah.
I'll take him.
You may have him for any first-round pick you'd like to
offer.
Okay. I'm just saying. Offer on the table. He's good. Look, Wildcard breakout.
He acted mad at me.
Yeah. Wildcard breakout. Isaiah Likely. Probably going to dominate.
Oh, no. What are you doing?
Oh, he's just throwing out some new stuff to try to get the trade offer.
We know statistically since.
Look at this.
A second.
Hold on.
27 seconds.
Let me read Jason's sweet lineup here. Here's his 4 tight ends.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The baggage carried by these 4 tight ends in Dynasty is incredible. You ready for this, Mike?
I'm ready.
We got Isaiah Likely of the New York Giants. We just talked about him at length. Don't worry, we still
future superstar.
Still got Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
I
mean, there's a lot of money in those 2 tight ends.
Then we got he don't got a team, but it don't matter. He got Darren the Walrus sitting there on the bench.
Oh, any moment now.
I mean,
not to be outpaced by Kyle Pitts on this bench, baby. Pitts,
young
Waller,
and beautiful.
Andrews, Likely.
I mean, 2 old stars, 2 future stars. How do you build a dynasty roster any better?
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can.
So statistically,
you're one Gadsden away from a perfect roster.
Hey, I made a trade offer for Fan and got rejected.
Since 2010, 78% of tight end breakouts occur before year 5.
I sent you a trade offer, Jay.
And Isaiah Likely is going into year 5, so it would make his breakout statistically an outlier.
Unlikely.
Yes.
Yeah. You should have gone with the pun.
But you already did the pun.
I know.
You can't go back. Yeah, you can go back to that because this is his name.
You can't pun the pun.
But you can rename. Now he is Isaiah.
It's also the natural thing you should have said. It was just a natural thing. I made him an offer, Mike.
For Likely?
Yeah.
Theo Johnson for Isaiah Likely.
It's
interesting. Yeah, I mean, statistically speaking, more likely that Theo Johnson has a breakout at this stage of his career.
So give it some thought.
Yeah.
He probably rejected it already. Okay. I mean, some good stuff brought to light there. I think how does Jackson Dart succeed without Neighbors and without Likely?
I think Scadaboo's going to be probably the second leading target receiver on this offense. I believe the checkdowns will be there. Like the Christian McCaffrey level usage is possible.
Take it easy
for Scat. I mean, by the end of the season, I still wonder how strong he'll be.
How
to start
high
the
do
season.
you have Scat on your ranks?
Probably not high enough. I've got Scat right now at running back 15. Only because
ADP's 19, so you're up above.
Only
ADP.
because I
ADP
have him
too.
Getting off to a slow start.
I mean,
because if I saw the fully healthy Scat,
what if he gets off to a fast start?
Then he will be like the running back 6.
The Giants is just a bunch of injury monitoring we got going on here for training camp.
Theo Johnson, it took him 2 years in his second year, he's had a higher statistical season output than Likely has in 4 years. You know what I mean? This is this is why this is so confusing.
If Likely was not signed, Theo
my
would be
chips
one
would
of
have been
the,
all in on
Theo would have been
Johnson.
one of the biggest
Yes.
like breakout candidates at tight end for the year.
My body was fully prepared for a Theo Johnson
Pants
breakout
off.
call. But then they signed I likely.
It's an iRobot.
I mean, that is
I like
correct.
I heard iCarly in my head. But it's like, what? Why? You had Theo. It's weird.
Maybe this trade I should pull it back. Hold on a second. Okay. I think we're going to wrap it up right there. One more red alert for you. If you want to pick up the UDK before the pre-order discount goes away, pick it up before launch. Launch is next Monday, June 1st for the Ultimate Draft Kit, ultimatedraftkit.com. If you are newer to the show or you're unfamiliar or you're not an Ultimate Foot Clan supporter and you don't know what's in it, our UDK includes all of our tier-based rankings, all of our premium stat projections for each and every player, done by each and every one of us by hand, by the way. It includes over 50,000 words
pencil
of original content. And somebody brought this up, like, does AI write stuff for you guys? Everyone's asking about AI. Every piece of content written, every blurb, every player profile, every article, all written by human beings.
Mm-hmm. Smart, capable human beings.
You think AI can typo like Kyle can?
No. Kyle's typos are 100% human. And the snark is as well. And custom cheat sheet creator, don't forget that. You get to make your own custom cheat sheet with customized markers. You can expand, collapse details in there. Sleepers, breakouts, busts, and values, the custom player marking for all of your draft day needs.
All sorts of research tools like red zone reports, injury reports. The injury report is great because you forget. You just forget. Like, oh, what is he dealing with? Is he dealing with something? I just always click over to them and be like, oh, yeah.
And you also get the draft analyzer as part of the UDK Plus. We've got consistency charts, and we've been doing this a long time, so it keeps getting better each and every year. All the risk and upside meters as well. Check it all out at ultimatedraftkit.com, or like I said, if you're an Ultimate Foot Clan supporter, you get it for free each and every year and access to all of the in-season tools and resources. That'll be it for today. Our Wildcard show is over, but we'll be back again on Thursday. We'll look at some off-season ADP risers, answer some of your questions. Talk to you then.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.